Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Let's Talk Lenawee. And today is going to be a really fun episode. We have Patrick Spenceley, the owner and winemaker at Cherry Creek Cellars in Brooklyn, on with us.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. Let's have some fun.
Robert didn't tell you to bring the wine slushies because that was part of the requirement for being on the podcast.
I was not aware of that, but we'll make sure that we come well stocked next time. Promise.
We're going to take that out of Robert's pay.
All right. That's fair enough. Let's do it.
All right. So really good stuff happening at Cherry Creek. There's a lot to talk about, but I wanted to start off and congratulate you guys on your 3 awards that you won from the Michigan Governor's Cup.
Yeah, that was really exciting news earlier this week. We'd been anticipating it for a while. We entered a bunch of wines back in the spring in the Governor's Cup, which is kind of the wine competition for the state of Michigan, open to any Michigan winery, all Michigan wineries and any of their wines. We had a couple of wines that did really well, along with a number of other wines that won quite a few medals for us.
Really?
But yeah, we had a dry white, our Vigneron, which was named the best hybrid white wine in the state, which was really cool to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that white also made it into the governor's case, which is the top 5 overall whites and the top 5 overall reds, and then the top 2 sparklings. And in addition to that wine, our Cabernet Franc was named one of the top 5 red wines in the state, so made that into the governor's case as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
lots of competition, because we were talking before. There's like over 140 wineries in the state.
A lot of wineries in the state. I think there were I think it was at least 400 wines entered in the competition. So to be right up there at the top with at least a couple of wines, and then to have like I said, a number of other wines that ended up with medals as well was really cool to get the feedback. We like to think that it's all pretty good wine, but to hear it from outside sources and reputable sources, it was a beverage tasting institute that they kind of put the whole competition on and did all the judging. So an impartial panel, to hear it from them is it gives us,
that's rewarding, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you, when you made those wines this year, did you know, like, oh, these are
it was
top notch, these are gonna be
good? We had some high hopes for them. Kind of going back to when we first started working with them. The red wine, it's our 2020 Cabernet Franc, so it goes back a couple of years. But for all of the things that were not so great in 2020, the weather and the year for growing grapes in Michigan was actually an amazing year. So
really?
We had that kind of in our back pocket and in the back of our mind, that there was definitely some potential with those wines when it kind of came time to pull them out of barrel and get them in bottle. So that was our Cabernet Franc. And in addition to that one, at the same time, our 2020 Merlot and our 2020 Cabernet Sauvignon, we kind of bottled them all at roughly the same time, and those were 2 other wines that medaled for us in this competition as well.
Okay.
So had some high hopes for those. And then our as soon as we got the fruit in for the Vigneron, the white wine this year, we really liked what we had started with, and we're able to kind of keep that rolling through fermentation and into bottling. And then used a portion of that wine for blending out some of our other wines too. So we think we've got a really nice few additions to the wine list. If it's been a while since anybody's been out to try some stuff at Cherry Creek, maybe this will be the little kick they need to come out and see us and try what's new. Try the award-winning stuff before it's gone, because it's already starting to go in a hurry now. So,
I feel like that's huge too for Cabernets. I just think people are really picky on their Cabernets, so especially Cabernet Franc.
Franc, and it might be one that people aren't as familiar with. Cab Savs, obviously, most people are aware of them, and it's nice to see that we can get some recognition for it, and that we can make some really nice red wines in the state. I know for a long time, Michigan has been, you can't do this or you can't do that, and you have to be careful what you grow and where you grow. All of our premium fruit is coming from the Lake Michigan shore, right off the coast of Lake Michigan.
Okay.
We grow over 5 acres of grapes on site on the property. Those are your hybrid varietals that do well in cooler climates. But if you get to the right spot in Michigan, not everything, but we can grow most everything. And we can do it really well, and especially in a year where, like I mentioned, where the weather cooperates,
Mhm.
Mother Nature cooperates. Yeah, we can put out some really nice wine.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned where you source some of your grapes
Hmm.
from, but are most of them from like around the Great Lakes region?
Yeah, well, everything that we use right now is 100% Michigan fruit.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
like I said, we grow our 8 to 10 tons of fruit a year that we harvest right out of our property.
Mhm.
In addition to that, we bring in about an additional roughly 30 tons of fruit from the west side of the state. A little bit of it comes from up north, Traverse City area.
Mhm.
A lot of it comes from Southwest Michigan,
Yeah. Awesome.
Lake Michigan shore. Yeah.
Love it. Other than wine,
Mhm.
what are some of the other craft beverages that you guys produce?
Yeah, kind of our motto, and I know we just kind of highlighted a few of the dry wines that did well
Mhm.
for us in the competition, but our motto is kind of truly something for everybody. So with that being said, we do a number of hard ciders. Usually have anywhere from 5 to 7 hard ciders on.
Mhm.
Some fruitier, some drier, a little bit of everything on that side of things as well.
Mhm.
And then we do some craft beers.
Okay.
We keep that pretty limited. There's usually at least 2 or 3 on, but
Okay.
again, to have at least something there, a lighter option for people, and then kind of a seasonal one as well. And then we do a really nice IPA that's usually there.
Nice.
And then I know you mentioned earlier the wine slushies.
Mhm.
Those are a blast. They're a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
It's just wine straight into the slushy machine. There's no secrets, no mix, no watering it down, nothing like that.
Good.
So it's a pretty easy one, but it's a crowd pleaser, especially this time of year as
They're a
well.
little dangerous.
They
That
are.
trick. A
They
little dangerous. They were good. I think last time we were out there, you mixed the red and the white together. That was like
Yep.
awesome.
Do have a little fun with it, mix them
Yeah.
up.
And
Yeah,
it looks pretty
it
too, you
does.
know?
Yeah, it's a great photo op if nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was some like root beer something that
The
you
root
made that I heard was a big hit too.
the root beer hard cider. Yeah, that
Okay.
is it's one of our more popular hard ciders. It goes back at least 6 7 years. It was originally it was a little one-off thing. We did a keg of it for a special weekend.
Uh-huh.
In the fall we were doing root beer floats, so we made a keg of root beer hard cider. It sounds terrible. It's not something I know I would necessarily order off of a menu. It's kind of a weird combo, root beer and
It's
apple
different.
cider. But it is insanely popular. People love it. They beat down the doors if it ever comes off the list.
I've heard that
Yeah,
like when you first introduced it, it was gone in like
it was
minutes,
that
right?
keg went quick. So we had to make some more of it for the following weekend. And honestly, it's been a staple on the list ever since. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have to try that one
give it
next
a
time you
shot.
guys have it.
It's
Yeah.
worth it. It's unique, but yeah, it's definitely a crowd pleaser.
So for the wine slushies, are those only seasonal and how often do you change the flavors out?
Yeah. They when we got the slushy machine a few years ago, we assumed it would be a seasonal thing. Put it up in May, kind of Memorial Day weekend, kick off the summer with them, and then figured by the time it got cold out in October, so we'd pack it away for the
Mhm.
winter. But yeah, people kept drinking
People
them.
still want
Yeah,
it.
they sit in the igloos and they'll drink
Oh
slushies
yeah.
in the igloos all winter long out there with us. So yeah, we leave it on all year.
Awesome.
The we do change out the flavors a little bit. Right now, I know we've got our cranberry passion, one of our more popular
Mhm.
wines, in the slushy machine. That one does really well in there. And our rose gold, which is a newer wine for us,
Okay.
just came out this spring. It's kind of a Moscato style white
Mhm.
wine.
It's
And
fun.
like you mentioned, they're really good when you mix them together too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately, not everything translates well to the slushy machine. So we've done some experimenting, trying a bunch of the wines in there.
Yeah.
The sweeter stuff works. So we don't rotate through everything, but
Mhm.
definitely find the ones that work and try to get them through there.
Cool. The sangria
Mhm.
is it's good.
Good
I
seasonal one.
mean,
Yeah, that's one of the fun things is yeah, our seasonal wines. We've got a couple that we feature kind of only during certain times of the year. The
mhm.
sangria is one of them. It's on for summertime. It's a really nice. It's a red blend, red
Mhm.
sangria that mix some fruit
Some
juices and stuff
fruit.
into
Yeah.
it before it goes into the bottle. So kind of you're ready to go sangria.
Mhm.
Pour the bottle out and have a glass with friends. But you can also take it home, doctor it up, throw some fresh fruit in it,
Yeah.
serve it in a pitcher, and if you're throwing a party or something.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
good. That one, that I just throw my favorites out there for people if you
yeah,
go try them. The Devil's Lake Red too.
awesome
Love
one.
it.
Yep,
Yeah.
and obviously has that little bit of local connection that
Yeah.
helps sell itself a little bit.
Right.
Definitely some Devil's Lake fans that wander up off the lake and
Makes
stock
sense.
up on it
Yeah.
every once in a while. But not that they're the only ones that drink it for sure. It's
Got to support the name, right?
yeah, it's a popular one for us.
Awesome. So this summer you just recently kicked off your summer music series.
Yep.
You guys have a ton of bands booked, so many food trucks. Don't list them all,
No,
but
I
just
yeah,
kind of give us a highlight of
wouldn't
who you have coming out.
wouldn't be able to pass that
Right.
test off the top of my head anyway. But no, I think we have something like 54 live music dates between Memorial Day and the middle of September.
Crazy. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, at least 3 nights a week of
Mhm.
live music: Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Holiday weekends, we throw the Sundays in there as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and bring in some really cool bands for those.
Mhm.
Your Thursday nights they're a great lower key,
Mhm.
more laid back atmosphere. It's usually a solo or duo act.
Okay.
Our full cafe menus open
Mhm.
for those evenings. Fridays and Saturdays we turn up the fun, turn up the energy a little bit. Bring in full bands,
Mhm.
um, cover bands, classic rock. Some are a little more bluesy, a little more rock and roll, a little more kind of country twist to them. So they've each got their own vibe.
Nice.
And then yeah, the Fridays and Saturdays also we'll do a featured food truck
Mhm.
every evening for that as well. So um, those pull in around 5, 6 o'clock, and they're there, yeah, till the music starts to wind down. So
Okay.
and those, just like the bands, we rotate through those as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, the whole schedule for the summer's up on our both on our website, our Facebook page, all of our social medias.
Yeah.
Got the so if you're looking for something to do on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, give it a check.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
a good
definitely
time.
definitely worth the trip out there. There's some really good acts this year. We've got mixed a few new acts in both on the Thursday evenings, as well as some new bands for us this
Mhm.
summer on the Fridays and Saturdays. But have a lot of old standbys that if you've been out to any of the music before, I'm sure you'd
That you kind
recognize.
of follow and want to go
Yeah,
see again. Yeah.
exactly.
I love the mix and like the genres that some of them are playing. Like you guys don't just have country every weekend or rock. It's like there's a really good mix.
Yeah, going back to that, and hopefully it's not too much of a recurring theme today during our chat, but yeah, that's something for everybody, right?
Mhm.
Recognize that some people like the blues or the country or whatever a little bit more than others. So try and give you a reason to get out there and make a point to come out and see us.
Yeah. So Friday and Saturday there's just a small cover charge, right?
Yep, $5.
Okay.
Yeah, just helps with the extra staff and to help offset some of the costs of bringing the bands in,
Mhm.
and it does allow us to bring in, yeah, some
Some
better
good ones,
bands. And
right?
yeah, I mean, everyone's fairly local,
Mhm.
but we pull bands and musicians from Toledo, Metro Detroit, Lansing, Battle Creek,
Mhm.
and Jackson, Adrian, and all areas within that kind of
Yeah,
that larger
within the region
radius.
right
So
there.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
And everything's held right outdoors. You can kind of overlook the vineyard. You guys have a ton of seating, but people can also bring their own chairs and make
Absolutely,
themselves
yeah.
comfortable and right at
Yep.
home, right?
Please do, yeah. It's encouraged. We yeah, like you said, we've got um, there's I think close to 30 picnic tables out there on the yeah in our big outdoor space
Mhm.
with our pergola there in the stage,
Yeah.
overlooking the vineyard during sunset. The sunset's right over the vineyard.
Oh, so pretty.
It is a
You guys
great
get like the
setting in the
best
summer.
pictures.
Yeah, there's yeah. Our Instagram feeds full of them
Yeah.
usually, which is great. Love to see it and have the people share their
Mhm.
photos and tag us. It's fun to go back, scroll through, and reminisce a little bit about sunsets and years past. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, we encourage you at least have it in the car, in the trunk. Throw
Mhm.
a couple lawn chairs or a blanket or something in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And there's an outdoor bar too set up right outside too, so you don't even have to go in the schoolhouse, which I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
so everything's really convenient right
Everything's
there.
right there for you. Yeah, we've got almost everything is available for you at the outside bar.
Mhm.
Couple things you'd have to walk in for, like we don't move the slushy machine in and out every day. So
Right.
if you want the slushies, you got to wander inside, or even on the Fridays and Saturday nights, our limited cafe menu is still available on those nights as well. So wander
Inside, yeah.
inside, order the food, and
Okay.
they'll have it ready for you, and head out and enjoy the music. So
And to buy bottles to take home because you
bottles,
have to. I mean,
yeah. If you're gonna
you're
come
you're
hang
gonna
out,
want to at least.
come hang out. Hope you enjoy something while you're there, but certainly encourage you to
Yeah.
take a bottle or two home so you can enjoy it at your place as well.
Okay. So going back to the schoolhouse, tell us a little bit about the history because that is a really cool building that you
It's a
guys are in.
great, yeah, it's a great building. It's become home for us. It works well. It's an 1870s schoolhouse. We're up there in Woodstock Township in the northern corners of Lenawee County.
Hmm.
It was schoolhouse number 2 in Woodstock
Really?
Township. So yeah, one of our wines is named after it. The old school, or sorry, Woodstock number 2 is kind of our estate white
Oh,
blend.
okay. Yeah.
Yep,
Heard the
and
name. I didn't realize the connection.
there's the connection. So grapes grown on the property
Hmm.
at the schoolhouse. Yeah, like I said, it was built in 1870s. They were still using it as a schoolhouse out there into the early 60s.
Hmm.
We've had a few old timers wander through and give us a story about how they were still in fourth grade or whatever there when
Really?
they closed down the schoolhouses
Oh,
and
that.
pushed everybody into the public school, into town to
Hmm.
go to school in town. So
And now
uh,
it's a tasting
now
room.
it's
I
a
mean,
tasting room. Like I said,
makes total sense.
it's a great fit for us. Yeah, between it being a tasting room and a schoolhouse, somebody had it as a little cottage.
Okay.
So they were vacationing in it, in a little vacation home for them.
Oh,
So they luckily, thankfully, did some of the hard work for us. Put a little kitchen in and a bathroom in and
right.
stuff. That we've updated a little bit through the years, but yeah, it's still definitely it's kept a lot of its character and its charm.
Yeah, it does have a lot.
One of the things that usually always changes hands when those buildings change ownership is the school bell is usually the first thing that the
Yeah.
original owners snatch up and take out of there with them. But luckily for us, that's stuck around through the years. We still have the old original school bell in there that you can
No
give it a
way.
ring. Yeah, if you wander through the doors. So yeah,
That's cool. I
yeah.
love like the little details like that. But like even for your menu, I've noticed you guys have it's all like chalkboard,
Hmm.
which just goes with the
Just
theme of
trying to play it up. I mean,
yeah.
it's a part of who we are and where we are and what we do.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's and got a great team on the design and the marketing side that they do a great job of playing all that up, and
Yeah.
they've done a really good job of kind of capturing the feel,
Hmm.
the character of the place,
Yeah.
and making it part of who we are.
Yeah. Awesome little spot.
Yeah,
Like you said, a ton of character. So if anything, go check it out because it's just so it's quaint and just different than
it is.
you know.
It's not you're not walking into your standard winery
Right.
tasting room. There's
Yeah.
very very hopefully nothing, but if and very little that's intimidating about walking into Cherry Creek. It's a pretty welcoming atmosphere and environment.
Hmm. And you guys don't yell at people like in like old school, you know.
Yeah, right. No,
You're not yelling at them when they're
nobody's
coming
gonna
in
get
to get
wrapped
like
over
do
their
their
knuckles with
homework
a
and
ruler. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
even better.
yeah,
um, so with all the events you guys have going on, end of September, I noticed there's the grape stomp.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
That's a really fun one. That predates even my time at Cherry Creek. It's a kind of the kickoff to our harvest season. So I mean, we're in the middle of summer right now. A lot going on in the vineyard, and kind of the culmination of all that is when the grapes are ready.
Hmm.
And so we bring in we don't stomp our own grapes. We bring in about a half a ton of fruit, and we have a big grape stomp competition during our live music event on
Cool.
that Saturday. It's crazy. People get probably too competitive with it, but there is a trophy involved for the team of two that stomps the most grapes or
Really?
produces the most juice out of a few minute long stomping competition. So
How do you
uh,
get involved?
yeah, it's I mean it's open to the public just like our normal summer music lineup. It's kind of the culmination of that. It's kind of the one
Hmm.
the end of the season event for us
Right.
before we transition into our
Okay.
fall entertainment. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's so the like I said, that date I believe is already listed
Hmm.
along with all of our other summer music. Um, Show up when you get there that day.
Okay.
You can throw your name into the hat as a you got to enter as a team of two. There's only 16 teams that participate that day, so it's a lottery drawing.
Really?
But
Okay.
yeah,
So competitive. I mean,
it,
competitive. You even get in, and
oh yeah, to get into it, and then yeah, you'll
that
get,
is cool.
there'll be a handful of people that'll show up in their I Love Lucy garb, dressed in when from she had an old grape stomping episode back when that aired.
That's
So
funny.
they show up in costume, ready to go, and like I said,
Love it. Themed.
get a little too competitive at times, but it's fun. Everybody has a great time with it. It's like that's definitely part of our who we are and what we do, and it's become quite the tradition.
So, do you use that after?
We don't.
No. Okay.
Nope. You
Just asking.
hop in there
I know other people
barefoot,
were
and
thinking it,
yeah,
so
no. Back when I first started, we've upgraded a little bit of the equipment over the years, but we did used to do a foot stomp wine, not by the general public, but by the winemaking crew.
gotcha.
Back in the day, one of our old Pinot Noirs, we used to
Really?
gently. It's a little more gentle than some
Uh
of the
huh.
machinery we had at the time. So, but like I said, luckily we've upgraded that, so we don't have to hop in the
So we got
wine and
people feet in the
yeah.
yeah. That's probably a little better,
Right, yeah.
huh? That's awesome. So that's end of September,
Yeah,
right?
I believe it's I believe it's the weekend following Labor Day. So
Okay.
middle of September there, kind
Good.
of right. That's like I said, that's kind of when we kind of kick off our harvest season. Right there, mid-September is
Mhm.
usually, depending on the year, is kind of that we start heading to the vineyards to go pull the fruit in, start the fun of the winemaking
Mhm.
process. Yeah.
What does that look like? I mean, there's these people just in these huge. Because when I feel like I've seen some other
Yeah.
grape stomps like in a huge box, and you're just going in on them,
So
right?
we use old wine barrels. We
Okay.
cut the barrels in half and load those up with grapes. And like I said, there's 16 teams, so you do 4 heats of four,
Hmm.
and then the winner of each heat, they go on to the grand final, where the winner of that heat will claim the trophy, and for the year get to claim themselves as the grape stomping champions of Cherry Creek.
So how do you just measure how much juice comes
Yeah.
out? Okay.
Yep. So you're a team of two. One person's in stomping. One person's catching the juice
Hmm.
in containers as it comes out. And halfway through, we'll tell everybody to switch. And so if you're on the team, you don't have a choice but to hop in
You
and
gotta
get
do it.
dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like a good workout.
It's fun. It is. Yeah.
Like a
It's
fun one, you know?
right. Yeah. You don't have to go to the gym that day for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So some other events that you guys have, paint and pours, yoga, bunko, there's art classes, book
All
club.
kinds of stuff. Yeah. Again, big credit to the team we've got
Hmm.
in the tasting room. They do a ton of behind the scenes work to pull all that stuff together. And it's we try to keep it fun, entertaining, engaging. Again, going back to the theme, something for everybody, right?
Hmm.
Not everybody considers themselves an artist and wants to come do the painting things, but we'll have some fun with trivia nights or bunko or yeah, the book club we started going back this winter
Okay.
has grown and grown. We thought it was just going to be, hey, something to
Hmm.
occupy some time and use the space during the winter, but it's grown to a point where we've kind of given its own day
Right.
through the summer here, and we've
Really?
moved some other stuff around because it's grown to that point. So yeah, that like I said, I mentioned the team earlier. They're have some great ideas. We throw a lot of stuff at the wall, see what sticks.
Hmm.
And luckily for us, more seems to stick than not.
Hmm.
And so credit to them for getting creative and coming up with the ideas, and then and being willing to execute it. It takes a lot of people to
Yeah.
pull all that stuff
That's
off.
a lot of coordinating.
Yeah. And have a great crew that
Hmm.
enjoys it, likes it, and really takes it to heart
Hmm.
and puts everything they have into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that with your team. Everyone's very creative. I mean, you guys, like you said, I can tell you guys. I mean, you'll try anything and
You,
kind of see how it goes over
we're
and see
willing
how
to give it a
people like
shot.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and like I said, not everything sticks, but I mean, a lot of that. Almost all the crew was there, kind of pre-COVID, but a lot of that came out of the what we had to deal with going through COVID and stuff as
Hmm.
well. Is that we were limited into what we could be doing, so get creative and came up with some new ways of doing things, and some of that stuff is still there today,
Yeah.
and some of it's not, but that's okay.
Hmm.
As long as we kind of keep that ball rolling and keep the creativity, and but at the same time don't lose sight of who we are and why we're there,
Yeah.
and the central focus of the business will always be the wine and the winemaking, but um cafe that's evolved over the years
Mhm.
and is a central part of what we do now. And all of the other events and the music and everything else that goes on out there.
Yeah.
It keeps us busy, but it keeps us fun. It keeps us engaged in all the
Yeah,
different aspects as well.
it
So
does. People love it too, so
absolutely,
keep keep it up.
we'll keep
Kudos to
on
the
keeping
team
on.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
What real briefly on the full cafe
Hmm.
menu. What are some of the staples that you guys have available?
Yeah, it is a seasonal cafe, so we do change it regularly based on seasonally available items
Oh, awesome.
and kind of different themes for different times of the year.
Mhm.
Um, Always have charcuterie boards, so meat and cheese and crackers and grapes and spreads and olives. Um, it's a great kind of shareable item for a large group of people sharing a bottle of wine
Yeah,
or sitting at one of
perfect
the
little
tables
snack.
outside. Yep. In addition to that, we always have kind of a staple list of shareables, appetizer type things
Okay.
that kind of fit that same feel of. I mean, wine is meant to be enjoyed with company, family, friends, and kind of the same thing with the cafe menu. And so, recently, our most recent menu update is now featuring for the summer at least, and we'll see how long they stick around. And these maybe into the fall. Some of
Mhm.
the we've got a new little small pizza oven in there, so we're pumping out quite a few flatbreads this
Nice.
time of year. So Janet, our chef, who does amazing things in a tiny little kitchen, we don't
Mhm.
give her a whole lot of space to work with, but she kills it every time and is just a culinary mind that we're really blessed to have because it fits what we are and what we're doing. And so be from, like I said, we just rolled out the flatbreads here for the year.
Mhm.
And so she's come up with some really creative flatbreads that are worth a try. And then yeah, as we get through the year, we'll start thinking about kind of the fall menu and see
Well,
see
yeah.
where that goes. And then she does a ton of like wine pairing events and stuff for us all throughout the year too.
Are you
Some of
her number one taste tester?
I will happily be her taste tester anytime she needs it.
Me too.
Yeah,
We need somebody.
just tell me to shut up. I'm blabbering too much.
No, it's good stuff.
All right.
I think we're done with that one, so I'm just gonna go roll into the next.
Yep.
Just really briefly wanted to touch on the River Raisin Wine Trail that recently launched. It's brand new in the county, so you guys are obviously one of four
Yep.
in Lenawee on it. So some good
Yeah.
stuff happening with that too.
Great stuff happening. Like you said, it is brand new. But there's a little bit of history with all of the wineries that are on the trail together.
Hmm.
We've worked together through the years in a few different capacities on an old previous wine trail that kind of dissolved during COVID.
Hmm.
But it's nice to have a group that's centrally located here in
Yeah,
Lenawee County, easily accessible, and it's a very easy drive from one end of the trail to the other.
right. It
So you
is.
can get to them all without an issue in
Hmm.
one day. And everybody's I feel like a very similar mindset that hey, this is all kind of for the greater good and growing the industry here in the county and in the region, as we kind of try to put pool our resources and our offerings together to attract people not only from here within Lenawee County, but to try to draw from outside the county as well
Right.
to come see what else we have to
Hmm.
offer. Yeah,
Well, an awesome collaboration
it
for
is.
sure.
It's been a lot of fun to work with these with everybody again, and to get everybody back at the same table for the first time in a number of years. So,
Yeah.
yeah, kicked it off with a great fair and
Fair and
pair
fair.
event in May. That was great, and then even and beyond that, we've seen the benefits of the trail already. We've had a number of people say, was hoping to make that event but wasn't able to, so we're out doing the trail
Yeah.
on our own, and
Love it.
that's really, I mean, yes, we'll have a number of events every year, but really, I mean, we're all here year round
Hmm.
and to promote and to attract people throughout the course of the year
Yeah.
is kind of the goal of the trail.
And self-guided, so
Yeah,
exactly to your point, they can come out and enjoy all the wineries in one day or spread it out
over a
across a couple.
weekend, and
And
yeah,
yeah, yeah, good experience for sure.
great
We're looking
experience.
forward to
And
more events
yeah, no,
with that.
and I know Visit Lenawee is a part of pushing all that and putting those events on and coordinating herding us cats as wineries, if you will. So certainly appreciate the help and the guidance and the promotion of the trail. I mean, it's like I said, I think it's super beneficial to not only us wineries, but the county as a whole. So.
Absolutely. And I think it just brings attention to some of the great wineries that are in Southeast Michigan, because I think people just think so much of northern or the west side of the state and all the wineries, which we have a lot
Yeah.
in those areas, but we also have some great ones down here
Sure.
too.
Yeah, you don't have to go far, and we're a lot closer to Metro Detroit and Toledo than having to hop in the car and drive 4 hours, like you said, to some of those other
Right.
locations that maybe have a little bit more of the reputation and the publicity. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're hopefully, with going back to the beginning of the conversation, with some of the wines that are gaining some recognition throughout the state.
Right.
Hopefully we can help kind of put this little corner of the state on the map as well.
We are.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, awesome, Patrick. We could talk like for a couple hours. You got a couple hours? Or no? We probably should end it, huh?
Yeah, not today, but happy to come back anytime, sit down with you.
With wine slushies.
There you go. Next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next time we will.
Right.
But thanks for coming on. There's so much good stuff. Real quick, drop your website and your social handles in case people want to learn more about what you guys have going on.
So head on over to cherrycreekwine.com. And that has links to everything, all of our socials and everything. Facebook, Cherry Creek Cellars. Find us on Instagram as well. Like I said, on all of those platforms, you'll find our full calendar of events and information about all of our wines and whatever happenings we have or updates to keep you posted about.
Awesome. Well, good stuff. Anyone coming from out of town and need lodging, go to visit Lenawee.com and you can find some place to stay. Check out Cherry and his team. Patrick, we're just going to call you Cherry now.
Call me whatever you want.
Patrick and his team out at Cherry Creek, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Would love to do it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.